All right, we are recording. My name is Danielle Janiszewski. I'm Triple Diamond Leader. I've been in this business for over 6 years. I was a special ed math teacher. For a while, I was a super skeptic, but I figured I might as well get started to make a couple extra $100. And within 7 months, I was diamond, and the light bulb went off, and I just saw the big picture of what this business could really do. So now I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 kids, and we're debt-free. I paid off over $100,000 in debt, student loans. Hello, 8 years of school will do that to you. So I have had so many ups and downs in this business myself, and I have been told way too many times, this was so easy for you. It must have been so easy for you. And I'm like, oh, man, like we all just share our highlight reel. Like people don't know the struggle behind it. And hey, maybe if y'all did, then you'd see that you're just like the next person. So I went right to triple diamond. It probably took me about 3 years to get to triple diamond. But man, that first time I lost rank, I was like depressed. Like it hit me hard. It was really hard for me. And I ended up claiming it back, and then I ended up losing it. So it's just a battle, and it's something that you really, you're going to have struggles, and you're going to have the ups and downs. And we've got some awesome leaders on here to kind of share, different aspects of that with you, whether it be the mindset, whether it be, how to really grasp onto what you really even need to do, or what you even need to do to get started. Or maybe you're watching this and you haven't had to, rebuild your team or have these hurdles yet, but you're kind of watching it just to kind of get some tidbits of maybe see what you can learn from it. So take some awesome notes, and do not be afraid to blow up the chat. If you guys have any questions in the chat, the leaders will go ahead and check there before they wrap things up. So we were going to start with Holly. We were going to start with Holly, but she's got some stuff going on. So she is going to hop on at the end. So we are going to go right to Megan. So if Megan is ready to go, I'll have you go and unmute yourself. And I'm going to mute myself because I've got 2 kids in the other room with their dad that they're probably going to be loud.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I love being able to just connect with other teams, and I don't do it enough. So I'm like in my bubble and I don't get out. And I am so happy to be here. So my name is Megan. I live at the Jersey Shore, just turned 40 in April, mom of 2 kids. I started this business at the end of January. It will be 4 years. And I didn't start this business for an extra income. I just wanted to lose weight. I was bartending, making a great income. And this opportunity fell on my lap when God gave it to me, when I knew, like he knew I needed it and I didn't, So I didn't even have social media. I didn't even have Facebook. I didn't have Instagram. So my best friend that got me started, and I said to her, do I need social media to be successful? And she said, no. So I was like, all right, so I just want to get product at discount. And 4 months after I started, my husband lost his job from corporate, and we were in a financial crisis, and we were eating eggs for dinner basically. And I was going to a seasonal place to bartend. We live at the beach, and we were washed out. Like it was like such a, the weather was so bad. I was making no money. I was making $60 a shift, and my husband, didn't have a job. So I said, I have this opportunity at my fingertips. I'm going to run with it. What do I need to do? And I started with Facebook, I started with Instagram, and here I am today. And now that's the platforms I use, and I just use social media. And I don't, for me, I am so grateful that, and I love that mindset that I had once I got into social media. That was my shift of work every day, right? So I never used social media to socialize. So my business mindset was like, okay, Facebook is going to make me money. How am I going to do it, right? So I'm very grateful for that that mindset that I had, and I still continue to use that to this day. And I tell my teams too that it's like a shift of work for you, right? So how many hours you want to work, you're going to do that, interact, engage, be happy, everyone leaves their problems at the door. And I just use that shift as like a bartending shift. That being said, my journey is absolutely different than everyone else's. I promoted a Ruby in 6 weeks without any social media, just from word of mouth, being behind the bar, giving people samples. Then I wasn't really behind the bar that much, and I had to build my network on social media. And it wasn't until I went diamond, it took me a good time, about 1.5 years to go diamond. And then I was like, when I saw that comment, my paycheck, guys, like it was like a God-given, like it was just such a gift from God, you know, like it saved us so much just to have that comma in our paycheck. And then I wanted the next step, you know, and then double came, and that was a blessing, and triple came, and that was a blessing. Oh my gosh, I remember opening up my first 5-figure paycheck. And then the next month I lost it, right? So I went in August of last year, and then September I lost it. And it was September. Then you know what happens, October, November of last year, you know, we had the $20 kits and we're trying to get back, but you know, the volume wasn't there. And then what happened was, you know, I'm so grateful for this, but maybe it's because I never got down about the business. I just knew it was business. And I knew if I put the work in, and I stayed consistent, it's going to pay off. Like, it just does, you know. And I was my friend shared a sermon with me earlier today, and it was like, turn your waiting room into your work room. So what did I have to do when I was waiting, right, to get triple back? I had to get my mind right. I had to get my heart right. And it wasn't until this, guys, I was like, you know what? I had a shield up in my heart. I had fear. I had so much fear about losing rank, about losing money. We needed this income so bad, and I worked out of fear for so long. And then it was like, you know what? For me, I believe in God, and that's what keeps my faith going. And I said, God, I am so sorry I didn't trust you. I am so sorry I haven't trusted you during these dark times. I'm ready to trust. You were always there. It was me that wasn't showing up. And then the shield in my heart kind of just like broke, and I was like, I'm ready to receive the abundance. And then the right people started coming into my business, you know. And for me, it was the right people, and I got excited again. I got excited because I was able to help these people that truly wanted it. And I remember when I first started, like when I said we were in financial crisis, and my friend was telling me I needed self-development. And I was like, if someone tells me I need self-development one more time, I'm going to jump off a bridge. Like, I just wanted to, like, I remember going, my son has anxiety, and I was with his therapist, and I was like, I don't even have my oxygen mask on. How am I going to like do anything? And then I was like, you know what? I'll do whatever it takes. So it really was developing myself, you know, to be able to be a leader. And until I developed that mindset, but it was my heart. And you know what it was? It was taking the fear out of my business. And to this day, month end was last night, right? It was like the weirdest month end, like, that I've ever had. Like, I didn't wake up like with that month end hangover like I usually did. Like, I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't the month end that like I expected it to be. But guess what? I know where we're going in 2020. Like, December 1st, we are blinking, and January 1st is going to be here. And like I know where we're going, and I know that if we're staying consistent. If your heart's ready to receive it, it's going to happen. So that's where I am. Like, you know, if anyone, I don't know if you have any questions about that or what that looks like, but it really was that, you know, that shift, when I took that fear out of my business, guys, that's when my whole business kind of changed. And guess what? I took all the resentments off my chart. That was huge. Like, looking at these people that were bringing me down, guess what I did? I put my kids' names on those boxes. Because guess what? If they're not going to work, if those people aren't going to build that chart, I'm going to do it for my kids. So I had Aiden, Mia, my husband's name all over my chart, and that's where I focused. And I took all the resentment off. And once I took all the resentments off, I'm like, God, yes, I'm good, you know? So that's it. Take, you know, the fear out of the business. And the resentments was really key for me too.
I love that. Can I say one thing real quick, totally sidebar? This is why I love Zooms like this, because I don't even talk like you, and my team needs to hear people like you. So I just love Zooms like this, where it's like you bring other leaders in, because it's like, I don't talk like that, but people need to hear that. You know what I mean? And there's people on your team that might need to hear how I talk. And gosh, my team hears me talk all the time. They're probably annoyed with me. So it's good to have other people talking to your team. And that's why I always tell my team, you got to get on Zooms. You got to be a part of so much of what they're offering. Think about, how long have you guys been in this business? These top leaders, like I've been in 6 years. I'm sorry, we did not have Zooms when I first started. If they would have, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would have been really cool. Like, that would have been awesome. And I feel like so many times people look for all these excuses. It's like, well, I'm not supported by my upline. You don't have to be. Like, you really don't have to be. Get plugged in with all these other teams, all these other leaders, because they invite you in. Everyone's so one team, one mission. So I just wanted to share that real quick. I love all that you had to say, and I love that my team is hearing it, because they don't hear that kind of stuff from me. So thank you. So if you guys have questions for Megan, go ahead and put it in the chat, and she'll kind of keep on top of that. Carissa, hey girlfriend. I want to make sure I can hear you. So hang on, first unmute, but then I want to make sure your volume's up.
You can hear me?
All right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So hi guys, I'm Carissa. I'm another Jersey girl. I'm about to follow her. So that's 2 reds in a row. So I'm from New Jersey also. I've been with this business since February 2012. And I've been doing this now, what, it'll be 8 years soon, Triple Diamond. And it's just amazing. Let's start from the beginning. Whew, and sum it up in 8. Okay. So I joined from a phone call. Back then, no Zooms, we had conference calls. So I joined from a conference call, never heard about the products, never seen anything. I was just basically blindly put on this conference call to hear about the business. I joined because Melody was so passionate about what she was talking about. It just made sense to do it because it seemed so easy to be able to get the diamond and get to $10,000 bonus. And that's all I seen it as. I never seen a negative in that. So I joined the next day based off that. I paid like over $600 to start. It was $99 plus a booster kit because my upline, which was my sponsor, told me I need a booster kit. And I said, okay. And I got it. So, back then, looking back, coachable was very easy back then because when they say, get this, you do it because this person has already accomplished the goals. So I hit executive my first month, Ruby my second. I went to conference that my first year in the business. I left conference, went Emerald. I was diamond 13 months, double diamond 14 months. I retired from being a medical assistant. After 2 years with the business, I hit triple diamond my 3rd year with the business and got a $25,000 bonus. So I've been able to get over $46,000 in bonuses through my entire household. So this business not only has done that for me, but it has gave those ups and downs that we have to talk about because I love the fact that this Zoom is possible for that. And when Danielle was like, we doing this Zoom, I was like, I want in because I can relate. And just like Megan, when I hit triple diamond, that next month, I had a double and 2 diamonds quit that next month, all in one leg. So guess what? Usually everybody else is ready to cry and ready to go sit in the corner and quit, right? Me, I was excited at the fact that that negativity was going out my business. That negativity had left. And if it took me losing $25,000 in bonuses for that to happen, my stress level was back down to 0. I was losing my hair over it. I was just completely stressed from it. And to be able to just lose that stress from having that happen, I was like, okay, if this is what was supposed to happen, that's what's going to happen. And since then, I have zero within our team. We don't have that negativity. Do we, girls? We ain't got that negativity over here. So I love that factor. So that's my up and down, but it's been more. It goes as far as just having uplines leave. I had my upline, my sponsor left 4 months after I joined the business. And that was another time I could have left. We had the wrap shortage. That's why he left. I could have left then. I still stayed. I looked at the positive. I see shortages that when we have that, that's an opportunity for us to find ways around it. And I always do. And my business never folds from it. My 2nd year in the business, 2 more uplines in between him and Melody quit as well. So that was another chance that I had the opportunity to just fold under. No, that then made me get closer to the person that actually was the reason I joined this business. So now I'm front line to the reason that I joined this business. And I look at things in a positive outlook all the time. That's how you have to. You got to vent, of course. We got to vent. You got to let it out. But at the same time, you got to have that right circle around you to keep you in place towards what you want to get accomplished. And where am I at with time, Danielle? I talk fast, but I think I'm good. Okay. All right, cool. Just thumb me up. So I just went over this with my team, and I love this factor as to telling them, as I told them, you got to have those right people in your corner at all times. Those people in your corner that help you with just when you vent and you vent to people and you tell them about what's going on with you, and they be like, yes, something's wrong. Thank God something's wrong with her. Woo, let's talk her even down even further and make her just, jump off the bridge. Versus those friends that say, no, this is only temporarily. We're going to build you up from here and we're going to keep pushing. And that's what we have within this organization, within this team, within these sideline sisters that we got. Everybody that I can tell you within this business, since we've been able to just revamp within these last few years, everything has been positive. Everyone helps one another. We do Zooms like this all the time with so many sidelines that we know each other, but y'all don't probably know who we are. And we're all here to help each other. And, people don't put out, that little bit of information and you're like, well, where's the rest of it? Versus, not hearing everything. We all, you taking pictures? We all, I see you. We all helping up one another. And I love that factor. So to just be able to have that within this team, just know that. And within this business, know that it's so much more coming. You just got to put one foot in front of the other and keep pushing. You can't let go. You can't. This business is going to definitely be the time where it's going to be, I've heard so much, guys. Y'all don't even know what's coming tomorrow. Y'all don't even know what's coming for the rest of this month. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. I was looking back on my memories as to what has happened in December, the last 8 years before this, and it's been monumental. So it's not going to go anywhere but up from here. Just stay focused, guys. Keep your books in front of you on your personal development, and just know you got so many sideline sisters you can lean on towards helping you get those goals accomplished. And always vent to somebody. You got to let it out. But at the same time, make sure that person you vent to is the one that's going to push you up instead of put you down. That's all I got.
Mic drop. Thank you. We had this all set up, ready to go. And Chris was like, I'll hop on. I'm like, yeah, love ya. I'd like to have you on. Thanks so much.
By the way, Bella's in charge of a lot of those graphics that I give y'all. Gail is the one that be taking all them cute pictures, so.
Aw, I love you. Thank you. It's the teacher in me. I'm very creative, and I also am obsessed with over. So those two things work very well together. But I will say it's all about one team, one mission, because I'm just now starting to get better with like doing the stories. But man, there's some people out there that are killing it with making stories, and they share it with everybody. So it's just so nice to have sidelines and people that you trust. Is just so nice and huge. And I've been sharing some stuff as these ladies are talking. I'm sharing some stuff in the comments. So you guys can kind of get those things from the notes too. But the one thing that I said that in the comments that kind of really stood out to me when Carissa was talking was, you've got to back this company 100%. You've got to get your feet planted. You've got to take quitting off the table. And once you are like 100%, like you're all in, like, you're only going up. And when you hit those little speed bumps, then you pick yourself back up and you use your sidelines. You use those tools that you've taught yourself, personal development, yada, 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 to get yourself even further in moving forward. So, okay, let me see. I think Catlin is next. Is she on? Oh, there you are. I'm unmuting you. All right, there you are. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good.
I'm good. I'm like searching around for you. You and I have never been on a Zoom together. I'm excited.
No, this is super cool. And I'm like, everybody's camera's on. I'm not usually on Zoom where everybody's cameras are on.
So, oh my gosh, can I tell you something really funny? And actually, a lot of people that I see their cameras on, they're not even on my team. So this is kind of ironic. When I get on a Zoom with my team, I'm like, okay, turn your cameras on. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how ugly you are. I need to see your dang faces. If you don't turn your camera on, get off the Zoom. Like, people will be like, I'm taking a shower. I'm like, all right, leave your camera off until you like it. You're fine. But people are like, I'm making dinner. I don't care. Like, I want to see you. Like, that's what life is.
Yeah.
And you are one of those, like, no excuses kind of people. So I'm kind of a freak with the camera. So
I
like
might
all
steal
y'all
that
have
on my
cameras on.
Zooms. I'll tell the girls that they can come to you if they've been, yeah, I do. I like to talk to people too. So I get
Yeah.
that.
All right. Well,
thank
you
so much for
rock on
having
with
me.
your, share your little story and then your, go into your stuff.
Okay, cool. So I'm Caitlin Snyder. I have been with the company for 4 years. February 4th will be 4 years that I've been doing it. I came in and was the biggest skeptic. I watched my enroller, Sam Bowers, for over a year. I ignored every single message that girl sent me. I went to school for nursing. I took my boards 5 times and I never passed them. And that was like, I just crawled into a big black hole and I didn't want anybody to know. And so I worked really hard on my highlight reel. And I just couldn't imagine being that girl putting her life out there and asking for attention in that way whenever I was doing such a job to cover it up. So it finally got to the point I found Jesus, and that changed everything. And this opportunity was given to me right at the perfect time. In fact, it was this season I've been really loud about it, and you guys should too. So Christmas season is why I joined. I cried when I wrapped Christmas presents of the year before, or like the, a couple weeks before I joined. I just couldn't believe how small the piles were. I couldn't believe that that's all we had. Like, I couldn't believe that's all we could afford. And she messaged me a couple weeks later, right around New Year's. And I said, yes, that was payday that she asked me. And I said, give me 2 weeks. I was already a stay-at-home mom. We were a one-income family. I took that 99 right out of the bank account. I never asked my husband. He was not supportive. He said this would not work. He said that this, a scam, all the things that he doesn't say now. Weird, ladies. They change whenever you get a comma in your check. And I did it anyways. And I was true ignorance on fire. I did the Ruby in 3 months. I got $1,000 bonus. I took him to Pittsburgh for his 30th birthday. I went diamond a little after a year. I went triple last March. And that triple check is crazy. You see commissions posted, and I just broke down. I was driving out somewhere. Commissions were posted. I checked them at a stoplight, and I drove back home and zoomed in on the number. And Jim was like, what's that number? And I was like, that's how much I made this month. It was insane. It's so crazy. And I'm going to be super real. So that's like my story. I'm going to be super real with you guys because I think that that's important. I am currently going through what these ladies have been through and now have come out on the other side. I have been on the up for a long time. I went diamond. I lost diamond. It took me about a year to get diamond back. Went double in the summer. What? And never lost double. And never was worried about losing double. We rolled over. We held rank by volume the entire time that we had it. And there was just this constant momentum. It was just on the up. And we went triple. I had 4 or 5 personally enrolled diamonds going triple. So it was crazy. And I heard of all these things. They just never happened to me. So, you hear about something, but until it personally happens to you, then you start paying attention. What I am doing right now is facing fear every day in my business. I am facing fear every day. I fight. I just went to see Rachel Hollis in South Carolina, and she said, put a name to the voice in the back of your head that says all the nasty stuff to you. You need to give her a name. You need to pull her out. You need to put her in front of you, and you need to imagine her saying those things actually to your face. And you need to imagine her saying those things to you in front of your kids or in front of your parents. And you need to start looking at it like that. So my girl's name is Deborah, and I fight Deborah every day because there is this fear of like, well, what if it doesn't turn around? Or what if this really does fall apart? Or what, so I am actively, but I face that fear every day. And I hid from it. I wasn't doing my numbers. I could see a difference change in my posting and my messaging. So I made the decision after seeing Rachel Hollis that one, I learned that it is a business, and every single person in a business goes through this. It's not just us. It's not just MLM. It's not just direct sale. It's all entrepreneurs. So I got a little like pep in my step, feeling like, well, like, believe it or not, or like it or not, or whether you think it or not, we are entrepreneurs, and we are not like other people. We don't choose to make our money like other people. We don't choose to we choose to put ourselves out there unlike other people. We are different than other people. And so my life isn't going to look like theirs in the good times and in the bad times. I trust this business. I loved the girl that spoke before. Yes, I trust this business, and I find that plugging back in. So I'm not missing Sunday and Monday night calls. I'm plugging into my Zooms. Aid, thank you. I'm doing all of that, and I'm getting back to the basics of what I was doing. But I faced that fear every day. And I talk Deborah out of my head, and I sit down and I say, okay, we're going to send 10 messages right now. And honestly, guys, by the time that I get up, I sent 50. I think that there's so much, Mark said it at Green Carpet, that when you have fear, you isolate yourself and you're by yourself. So stop being by yourself and get around your team. Reach out to your upline, reach out to a sideline, and talk to somebody and discuss it. Don't stir in the negativity, but man, talk about it and be real about it. It's okay to feel however you're feeling. Do your numbers, get your numbers out. Knowing exactly where you need to go with your volume or customers and your distributors is huge. It will do something in a switch in your mind that at least you feel like all your ducks are in a row, that like, okay, I can do it. What else? So I'm also learning every time that I get up on, every time I get up on stage, every time the girls on stage talk, they talk about the things that they went through in their business. And so I'm kind of looking at this season like my checklist. Like, okay, so people that I thought were going to be with me till the top, they're not. Okay, check them off the list. And just going through these rest paths, I'm realizing that this is where the most growth happens. This is, every day I tell myself, what can I learn from this? This is happening for me and not to me. This is happening for me and not to me. And if I can learn something through this business, if I can learn something through this valley that will make me better, maybe it's handling my money differently. Maybe it's handling my team differently. Maybe it's handling myself differently. I have to learn something from this. And I know what will happen if I stop. That quit's still not on the table. As much as stuff has happened that I never thought was happening, quit has never been on the table for me. This is my only plan. And so I am determined to find the lesson in what I'm going through and be better from it. And I'm also willing, I have addressed myself time and time again through this season too. I refuse to blame and complain. And I know it's easy, y'all. I know it's so easy to think, man, if my team or if they could just enroll one, or if they would just show up, that would be so great. I'm not blaming and complaining. I am accepting and I am changing, and I am addressing myself more than anything. I am not looking anywhere else except in the mirror. That's such a good song, Fear is a Liar. And that's really done a lot for me too. I am in control of what I am in control of. I am in control of the time and the effort and the intention that I put into my business. And I need to release everything else that I'm not in control of. And if right now God doesn't see fit that the team that's, going back or getting ranked back, that's okay, because I'm a faithful servant. And I'm going to keep the faith when I don't see it. I can't believe that I'm faithful if I only believe it whenever it's in my back office or in my bank account or wherever else. So this is a learning and growing season. And for anybody else that's going through it, the tips that you got from the other ladies, mine is this isn't so much of what, but I'm telling you that it is worth everything. And that by you showing up and being on Zooms like this, it matters, and you matter, and you're worthy, and you're capable of this business. So silence the chaos and get back to literally the foundation. I had to go back in old notebooks and figure out, what did I do to go Ruby? What did I do to go back to Diamond? And those are the things that I'm doing. I'm doing those income building tasks that I got out of whenever I was at Triple, because I just did. I don't even know why I did. I just did. And I've gone through different emotions with this business. If you feel angry, You have 24 hours to feel angry. And after that, you need to get over yourself, sis, and figure out what you need to do. That's what I have. I hope that that helped. That wasn't like so tippy, but I just,
after someone talks, normally I don't want to do this. Oh, like for real, like in the middle of your talking, I'm like, yes. Like seriously, so much of what you said was so good. And again, I feel like I'm saying the same thing. Like my team doesn't hear me talk like that. And I needed to hear some of the things that you said. So I think you said amazing things. So thank you so much
great.
for that. And I think something that you said that kind of triggered me is you got to give yourself grace going through this. Like you're going to have really hard times and you're going to ask yourself like, why me? And well, what is it meant to be? And guys, I just went through like one of the hardest seasons of my entire business, miscarriage. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, had to moved home for 5 months to help take care of him, move my whole family home. And it's like, why is all this happening? It's like, but you know what? I worked my business every single day consistently. Was I working it at the level that I wanted to or that I normally do? Absolutely not. But you know what? Every single day I thanked God for this business being in my life, because if this business wasn't in my life, I would still be a teacher. I would still be making $2,000 a month. I would have my kids in daycare. I would not be able to go home and be the only person that can help my dad fight this crazy disease of cancer. And it's just like, it's just tearing him apart. And I was able to be there for him, drive him hours and hours to find the best cancer treatment centers. If I didn't have this business, I would not be able to do that. So you know what? My paycheck can drop if it needs to drop because I have this business and I'm so thankful for it because I'm able to do all this stuff. So throughout all these times in this business and these ups and downs, like you've got to give yourself grace as you're dealing with all these things because this is your life and you just have to be thankful for all the things that this business is giving you, but recognize that right now in this moment, work your tail off so that one day when you have the greatest struggle of your entire life, you get to look back and thank this business for it. Because I'm so glad those nights that I stayed up late and I put Mickey Mouse on for my kid. And I'm so thankful that I spent all those hours busting my butt to get to Triple Diamond, because then I was able to go home and help my dad. There's just so much of what you said. Mute. So much of what you said really hit home. So thank you for that. And all these struggles that, you have, for me personally, I always told myself, it's just making me be a better leader because people on my team are going to have these struggles at a later time. And I'm just going to be there to be like, yep, I had that same problem. This is how I got over it, or this is what I did. So truly and honestly, like, again, it's your mindset. Is there someone else coming on? It really is your mindset. But if you can tell yourself, like, you're literally just going to jump over this hurdle because you're only having this hurdle so that you can help people at a later date on your team go through that same struggle. So sorry, I kind of rambled there for a little bit, but all right, Janny girlfriend, you ready? All right, let me unmute you. All right, I feel like Janny and I are so much alike with how we think and all of our stuff. So I'm going to probably go after Janny and talk about a couple things too. So, all right, you ready?
Totally. Yes, I am ready.
All right, go ahead.
I seriously love what so many of you said, and I agree. This is why I love these Zooms, because sometimes you get sick of the sound of your own voice, but hearing the same thing maybe from somebody else, different perspective, it's just so awesome. So, okay, I'm going to the clock. All right. So you guys, I just want to talk a little bit about, the dreaded 2 words, losing rank. And first of all, you don't ever really lose rank in this company. You might see paycheck drops and you might see volume drops, but once you earned that rank, like, this company always honors you at that rank forever. It says lifetime rank in your E-suite. So start thinking about it as maybe your paycheck dropped or maybe you lost your maintenance for that month or whatever, but you really didn't lose it. It's always there and you can always get it back. So, but I do want to talk about it because I think, it's something that it's not like fun to talk about. And I didn't realize it was a thing because my upline is like a unicorn who I don't think has ever lost a rank, but most everyone in this business has at some point. At some point, you will lose a rank. And I think it's important to know that when it happens, it isn't forever. unless you make it forever. And I'll be honest with you, lots of people do, because they think they're alone. They think that it's just, well, I tried, but it went away, or I lost it, or they start to throw the pity party of the century, like order cupcakes and balloons, and they just sit in that grief and wallow in it. And you know what? If you do that, it is going to become your reality, and it is going to become your story. It doesn't have to become your story. The first time I ever lost a rank, I fought for Diamond it took me 13 months. I was not this like Speedy Gonzalez that promoted. I did not get the $10,000 bonus that I talked about every damn day on my page. I was so embarrassed too. I was like, what do I do now? Everyone's going to say, did you get that bonus? I'm like, woo, how's the weather? Like, no, I didn't get the damn bonus. But you guys, I got Diamond in October of 2015. I lost Diamond in December of 2015, and my check dropped. I lost Emerald as well, and my check dropped down to Ruby, and it was like a crappy Ruby check. And I was bummed. I was, but I did not stay there. I did not make excuses. Of course I was sad. I'm sure that I cried. I don't remember. I'm sure that knowing myself, I'm a crier. I'm sure I cried. But guess what? I looked at my eSuite because I forgot my story a little bit. I looked at my commissions. I got Diamond back the next month, and my check quadrupled because I did not throw myself a freaking pity party. Like, don't do that. I also kind of like to say, it's like when you lose weight and you work so hard to lose weight and maybe you gain back 5 pounds, are you going to get your ass back to like doing what you did to lose that weight? Or are you going to let the 5 pounds turn into 25 pounds? Because that is the same thing that can happen with your rank. If you feel sorry for yourself and I don't know what happened, and the blame game will do you in, okay? It will put the nail in your coffin if you start blaming the people on your team. You guys, when I hit Diamond with my husband as my Emerald rank. His rubies were pretty much me. I mean, I had some people trying, but I was the main enroller, and they didn't have anybody like committed hardcore like I was. And my other ruby on the other leg was also me putting, I think Megan was on that said, like, if you need to write your name, write your freaking name on those boxes. If Sally isn't working, like, get over it. If she's the one you're helping build so that you can be honest, you're not trying to help Sally. You're trying to build your diamond. So let's just be real about it and put your own damn name on the box. Like, I'm sorry. But I really just want you guys to know that if you lost a rank, you're not alone. And if you haven't lost a rank, don't be fearful. It will happen at some point. And when it does, we are trying to equip you for not turning that into your story. In fact, like what Danielle just said, it's going to help you. You're going to be able to help somebody else because you've been through it. I can help my team when they lose Diamond. I can help my team if they lose Triple. I've lost Triple. And Danielle and I, well, I'm sure every single person who's talked to you guys has had crappy stuff they've gone through. Here in this business, like, here's the thing. It is so easy to take something crappy and turn it into your excuse. And you're not going to say that. You're not going to say, well, I decided that my son getting bronchitis and my husband losing his job has added so much stress that I've decided I'm going to slow down and I'm going to use that as an excuse. And there it is. Like, no one freaking words it like that. But they back off. They stop being passionate. They stop doing their daily stuff. They stop doing their messages. They stop doing their thing. And then when someone checks on them, they're like, well, it's just been a lot. I've had a lot going on. I've been kind of depressed and like my husband, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you are using it as an excuse. And here's a good rule of thumb. And I wrote this down, if you wouldn't ditch your 9-to-5 shift, if you wouldn't call in sick over it, then don't put your business on the back burner over it, because your business is the one thing that is for you. It is actually for your future. It is going to build you the paycheck that that will allow you to quit your job if that's what you want. So why would you go to work when you're miserable, depressed, a little bit sick? Maybe your mom has to watch your daughter because she's sick and blah, blah, blah. But you still figure it out. You figure it out because you got to go to work, right? So why would you not take that urgency and figure it out for your side hustle? Because it is for you. Just really quickly, I have like 2.5, 3 minutes left. When I lost Triple, you guys, it was literally the crappiest month. Well, one of the crappiest months like I've ever had, not only in this business, but in my life. I went through some serious shiz. And everybody on my team knows this, but I had just survived the largest freaking shooting in American history, okay, in Vegas. Went through a very, very traumatic event. Three of my distributors were with me. One of them was shot 2 times, standing right behind me. Like, I literally walked out of that night alive, but covered in asphalt, covered in blood. Like, I started drinking more than I ever did after that. I had a lot of PTSD issues. If it wasn't for this business, if it wasn't for the hustle I had put into that point, I had actual time to just sit and be with my family. I was able to do some therapy. I was able to like just cry and lay in my bed and watch Lifetime movies like for a few weeks. And then my ass was like, I remember on the 20th, and the shooting was October 1st. On October 20th, I had done a little bit of nothing. Okay. And I've never done that in 4 years at that point. I had never not worked. My grandma died. The night of her funeral, I was in the hotel bathroom helping somebody go Ruby. And I was super freaking close to my grandma. Okay. All of the crap that happens, like, I just don't make excuses. I'm not about it. But that was the first time where I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, and I needed some time. And this business allowed me to not only have that time, but for whatever reason, my check went up that month. I don't know. And then I got my ass together on the 20th, and I was like, I'm not letting that asshole take my rank. So I'm not going to lose triple. And I didn't until the next month. And then I did. And I was going through some crazy, crazy stuff. You know, and it took me like 5 months to get it back. But when I got it back, it felt like when I first promoted. Like, I went out to dinner. I didn't really shout it out because, you know, people don't understand that stuff on my timeline, but I celebrated the crap out of that because I worked my ass off to get it back, and then I got it back. And you know what I mean? I could have turned that into a very, I guess, valid excuse. Like, I could have said, I just don't know what to do. I just can't. And I could have just let it turn into like wallowing in depression and not work my business anymore. But I swear, like, I didn't come this far to come this far. And to me, part of it was like anger. Like, I am not letting some a-hole who killed a bunch of people, like, deteriorate my life that I've worked so hard to build. Like, I'm just not going to do it. So I turned that and I used that as like fuel. So what I'm saying is, like, whatever it is going on for you, like, take a serious look at it and say, do I want to let this, maybe it's losing rank. Maybe it's your husband telling you, you worked really hard to get this paycheck and now it's down to 700, or now it's down to blah, blah, blah. Do not let that take you down. Maybe you're just getting started and you don't even have a rank to lose yet, right? Same thing. Maybe someone's telling you, like, you're on your phone all the time and you're only making like 200 a month, whatever. Don't let those voices in your head. The last thing I want to say is just your mindset, you guys. What is in your head, and who is in your head? Who is in your circle? Because a lot of people who are very good at this business, like, if you've had a month where you signed 10, 15, 20 loyal customers, you don't just lose that. Like, you can do that, you can always do that. It's just what's up here. So who is in your ear? Who is in your circle? Who are you hanging out with? Who are you going to lunch with? Because if they're not building you up, then you can love them from afar, but girl, go find somebody who's going to build you up and allow you to reach your potential. Okay. So anyways, I had like all these notes. 2020, it's about vision. We have so many good posts. We're going to just blow up the whole 2020 thing. But you guys, if this is not the time, I don't know what is. 2020, perfect vision. So yeah, that's all.
Janny, I feel like you speak like from me sometimes. Like, you say, I love you.
Love you.
Oh gosh, and all that you went through. It's like, and here's the thing, when you go through something like that, people on the outside will look at you and be like, whew, no wonder she's not working. No wonder she's not this. No wonder my kids are losing their minds. Please try to ignore them. Sorry. You have a good reason to not work your business. So in your head, the devil in your head, it's kind of like, you know that you have a good reason to not work your business, but you're keeping it. They're seriously losing their minds. Is it really loud? Is it bad?
No, it's not that bad. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. Who was it that said about fear is a liar? Because let me just tell you, I don't know who was saying that song. You guys, you all need to download that song. It's by Zach. Oh my gosh, I'm brain farting his last name. Zach, is it Williams? Zach Williams. Fear is a Liar. Okay, so last month I was blessed somehow by the grace of God, got invited to Amber Parker's leadership retreat. It was incredible. We walked on hot coals, and right before we were all putting our like piece of wood to like build the fire beforehand. And when I was putting my last log to like help build our fire, literally, you guys, like the craziest thing ever. That song, like it was dropped into my brain by Jesus himself, was put in my brain as I was handing the fire tender my log. And it wasn't just the song, it was cast your fear in the fire because fear is a liar. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are gonna think I'm freaking crazy, but I swear to you that happened. It was so freaking nuts. And then I was terrified to walked across the coals 3 times. Not once, but 3 times. It was nuts. I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna stop.
I love you. The one thing that I feel that I swear by and I instill into my own team is the 5 people. And you guys, I know that sometimes you'll be like, but she's my sister, but she's my this. I'm here to tell you that and the phrase I use, Janny, is I fast people out of my life. So I fasted my sister, who I've been beyond close with my entire life, but because she makes a mockery of me in this business. And the reason for that is because she's a teacher and she sees that I'm now not teaching, and I'm thankful for this business and not having to teach. But there's a lot obviously that goes into it, but I had to literally fast her out of my life. I blocked her from Facebook, and I had a conversation with her that was really difficult, and we were both sobbing. And I was like, listen, you and I, if we want to have a relationship, it's going to be over the phone. You live in New York, I live in Arizona. Facebook and you and I are not meant for each other. So you have to be strong enough to actually fast these people out of your life. And it's really hard when they're really freaking close to you. It's not going to be easy for you. So these have to be intentional decisions on who these people are that you're going to surround yourself with. And sometimes you might be like, heck yeah, I got my 5, like I'm doing awesome, I'm doing great. And then one of them does something that you're like, I don't think that they're my kind of people anymore. Guess what? Cool, go find somebody else. You get to fast them out of your life now, and you get to go find somebody else. So I feel like so much of this business and so much of what I've done, I make a game out of it. Like I'm like, in my head, I'm like, peace out, homegirl. Like I'm gonna go find another bestie that wants me to do the best and wants, like, I just saw Melissa hop on. And I am telling you guys, if Melissa did not come into my life when she did, and I don't even think she realizes the impact that she has had on my life, but when I was home this summer, like I could not be the best leader that I want to be for my team. And I'm a freaking good leader. Like I'm a really good leader for my team. I'm always investing in them, but I needed to take a step back for a little bit and really focus on me. And Melissa and I connected. She added me into her team page. I added her into mine. And I am telling you guys, I needed that. I needed that 100%. And I will be forever grateful for her, because I went through 2 of the most difficult times of my entire life. And because I had her as an accountability partner, I was fired up, because I would see her posts in her team page and she do something that was amazing. And I'm like, I would take her idea and throw it in my team page, and it would fire me up. So thank you, Melissa. I love you. And find an accountability partner, you guys, even if it's just one person. As you can see, once you get to be a triple, I'm going to mute you. Once you become a triple, you have more than one accountability partner. But if you're just getting started, or if, your accountability partner maybe fell off, like put yourself out there, contact one of us, contact me. If you're not on my team, send me a message and say, you know what? I lost Diamond. Do you have somebody on your team that is a mom of 3, that is a go-getter, that is a no excuses type of person that is looking for an accountability partner? Yep, I do actually. So if you have somebody, or if you are somebody that's looking for somebody, don't be afraid to reach out and ask somebody. Okay, sorry, I'm going kind of off. Holly, are you on, and are you wanting to wrap?
Yes. Can you hear me?
There you are. All right,
Okay,
I'm muting.
so
I'm ready to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's like the wildest thing. I was supposed to go first. I had pages and pages of notes. As you guys have been talking, I feel like there's a completely different message that I need to share. Okay, so basically, long story short, I hit triple this past February. I'll be in the business for 3 years this coming, I guess it's December 27th. Anyway, this year has been really, really, really hard for me. I boxed in presidential in March. I honestly believed I was going to hit it. I was like, oh, no problem. Like, for sure, I'm going to end this year that way. I had people on my team who were so close to me leave. I had people on my team that I literally felt were going to be there with me. I held rank for like 4 months, and then I dropped back down to double. I held that. And then I think it was August or September, I actually dropped back down to diamond. And at that point, my husband, who wasn't supportive in the beginning, but as things grew and I was able to quit my accounting job to stay home full time with my son, then my husband kind of believed in it. But these last few months, he has been that like negative voice in my ear. That one saying like, do you really still believe in this stuff though? Like, do you really think you're going to get it back? Do you really think that this is, everything you thought it was? I thought that from the very moment that I joined, and it took me 9 months to hit Ruby. Obviously, people do it a lot faster than that, but I just knew. I believed in it. I believed that God put me on this journey for a reason. I believed it from being a distributor, through executive, through Ruby, through everything. So to hit triple and then drop back down to diamond and have my husband be kind of like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you haven't like peaked? That was really hard for me, and it got in my head and it messed with my confidence. It really did. And that made me stop working so hard. I was kind of embarrassed to say like, oh, I'm working all these hours, I'm putting all this time in, I'm talking to all these people, but here I am. You know what I mean? And I think like that's the devil right there. That's the devil like jumping in, like when you're vulnerable. And I had faith when I was making $62 a month. Why would I not have faith now? That things are going to come back around. I just really think that like you have to get all of those voices out of your head. You have to stop worrying about what anybody else thinks. If you had a sales job anywhere else, would you give up like that? Would you give up that easy? If I gave up now, I'd have to go back to my accounting job. My son would have to go back to a babysitter 50 hours a week. Why would I ever go back to that? But you know what I mean? It's like you hit a point, and then you feel like when you lose your rank, like everything's falling apart, and that's not the case. And I know family calls starting, but anyway, I really felt like I needed to share that. My son is really sick. I was supposed to go first. I had this whole big thing laid out about like leaders retreats and, the people I talk to now, but I really just kind of felt a pull to say like, don't let other people get in your head. Don't. And like, look at big picture. Like, who cares? If you have a couple months that are tough, you're going to have that anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth walking away for. So anyway, I know family calls starting.
All right. I'm going to say 3 more things. Hang on. Don't get off yet. They haven't even started the family call. So hang on just a second.
Okay.
All right. So I just wrote these down real quick. The things that I just want to touch on with all the other stuff I've said is this is about rebuilding. Okay. Rebuilding. Go find new blood. It is so hard to revive the dead. Go find new blood. Go find new blood. This is the time right now. You've got to bring excitement. If you don't have excitement, you better go find it somewhere. And I'm telling you, once this announcement comes out, you're going to have some excitement. And if you're not, then you better start faking it. You've got to be excited. You've got to have no excuses. If you make excuses to yourself or your husband or you got to stop making excuses. And the number one person you got to stop making excuses to is yourself. I don't care if you're tired. You have goals. Stay up an hour later. Take an energy stick. I don't care what you need to do. For me personally, when I lost rank, my biggest number one aha that I had was I have got to stop building people. Because for me personally, I was helping all these people build their teams, and I'm going to be totally honest here, they didn't appreciate that, okay? They didn't appreciate it, and then when they got these ranks, and then when they lost the ranks, it was kind of like a, why did I lose that? I have to work for this? What? So I was like, oh my God, huge aha. Now I'm a really good leader, and I really focus hard on helping my team and coaching them and teaching them how to build their own team, because God, it feels good when you built your own team and you got yourself to diamond. Or who cares if somebody helped you get to diamond? Who cares? You got there. Now go get yourself to double diamond. It feels good. It just feels better when you do it, and you're so much more accountable for that. So teach them. All right, I'm a teacher, so that's why I had to end with that. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much, all you leaders that hopped on and did this. I will share the recording in our chat, and then you guys can share it with your teams. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a good night. Go get on that family call.